So, ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We won the game by 4 goals to 2. And yeah, what a performance, what a win. It's exactly what we needed. We wanted to win. We were going away to a team that, let's be real, have been one of the whipping boys in the Champions League this season. We expected to be an easy walk in the park, but true to Barcelona in the Champions League, it wasn't a walk in the park. Even though the scoreline will tell you that Barcelona won this game by 4 goals to 2, it would tell you that it was an amazing professional victory, but it was anything but. That game was annoying. That game was frustrating. But in the end, we ended up pulling clear and we got the win. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your match reaction of the Slavia Prague versus FC Barcelona game in the UEFA Champions League. And yeah, listen, let's get straight into the starting 11, guys. I mean, listen, it was a great starting 11. I'm not going to lie, I had no issues with the starting 11. Obviously, there was a lot of big changes that happened before the game. The big ones being that there was no Yamal or Ferran Torres in the squad, so we were not expecting them. But Flick went with the strongest lineup that we could bring up, with Jean Garcia in goal, but Eric Garcia alongside Gerard Martin in the fullback in the defense, with Koundé and Balde in the fullback positions. Pedri was in the midfield alongside Frankie de Jong, Fermin Lopez in the 10, Raphinha on the left, Ronnie Baji getting a run out there on the right, and Robert Lewandowski as the number 9. And like I mentioned, didn't have a problem with this attack or this whole team in general at all. And I expected these guys to turn up. But true to Barcelona, like I mentioned in the Champions League, for some reason, we just love to make things difficult. I don't know why. Right? Because on paper, this game should have been an easy walk in the park. And I mean that in the most literal sense. Guys, I can literally show you all, right? I don't have to even... listen, they always say, evidence is 9/10 in the game, right? Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at where Slavia Prague is. They are currently 34th. Ladies and gentlemen, they haven't won a game. They've only drawn 3 games and they've lost 4. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this team. They are at negative 11 goals. They have not been good. They barely score goals. They have been one of the biggest whipping boys in the entire Champions League this season. Just like, by the way, just like Frankfurt were before we played them. And just like Frankfurt, somehow, some way, we made a game that should have been walk in the park. On paper, we made it 10 times difficult. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I will not and I will never trust this team in the Champions League until we actually win the Champions League. I am not saying compete, I'm saying win. Because this is not about the opponents. This is a Barcelona problem. This is an us problem. We have a hoodoo in this competition. We can be as spotless, as amazing, 10 out of 10 in the league, in the Copa del Rey, in the Spanish Super Cup. We can play some of the best football that you will see in Europe. But I'm telling you, the moment that Champions League theme song hits, it's like the opposite of what happens to Real Madrid when they step in the Champions League, and when they hear the Champions League song, it just drives them. For us, we just buckle the moment we hear the Champions League anthem. And listen, from the start of the game, we were in control. No surprises. But I'm telling you all, ladies and gentlemen, when we considered the first goal, I didn't even lose it. I wasn't even angry. Because I just saw it and I said, I am not even surprised by this. I'm so used to seeing this club be so crap or just make games in this competition harder than they should be, that even to a team like this, who have been battered and barely scored goals in this competition, can somehow, some way make us the first team, or we would make them look impressive. Only Barcelona. Only Barca. This team have barely scored goals, like I mentioned. You go check the stats. But guess what? If you put money on Barcelona conceding today against Slavia Prague, you probably made a lot of money today. Because it's easy money to make. Barcelona are the record breakers. We are the teams that break the records. Not the records that are actually good, the bad ones. And yeah, We conceded first. And you saw it in the way they celebrated. They were not expecting to actually score. I'm sure they probably were just thinking, listen, let's try and get a 0-0. Bare minimum. So when they got the first goal, we're like, wow, we're actually winning. But somehow, someway, ladies and gentlemen, we regrouped. It took a while because we were 1-0 down for a while. But eventually, we actually got the equalizer. Finally, great ball from Eric Garcia. Right, good touch by Raphinha, gives it to Frankie de Jong. Frankie de Jong finds Fermin, and Fermin makes it 1-1. Goalkeeper, I think, should have done better, but it is what it is. We got what we wanted, and we got the equalizer. And now we're thinking, okay, cool, slow. It was a slow start, but we got the equalizer now. Let's go on a rampage now, okay? Let's go on a rampage. Let's show that we can actually get it done in this competition. And you know what? It was looking great. Because before you know it, it was 2-1 Barca. What a strike by Fermin Lopez. From outside the box, absolutely bullet strike. Goalkeeper, 0% chance. 2-1. And now we're like, yo, finally, in the lead. Now, let's get a third. Let's get a third before halftime. Let's get a third before halftime, because if we get a third and kill their confidence second half, we can go on a rampage. Guess what? We didn't go on a rampage. Because before you know it, Slavia Prague get another corner. And this time, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Lewandowski scored today. Unfortunately, he scored on the wrong net. That's probably his first own goal of his career, probably. I don't even think he's ever scored an own goal in his career. My guy is breaking records before he's about to retire. 2-2. And somehow, someway, we made this team that barely even scored 2 goals at all in this tournament score 2 tonight. And I wasn't even angry. Because I saw this against Frankfurt. I saw this against Chelsea. I saw this against all of the teams. Trust me, even all the games we won. Club Brugge. 3-3, the 3-3. I've seen this now in the Champions League so much now that I'm just like, I'm not even shocked. Even against a team like this, I'm not. And then we go into halftime. It's 2-2. I don't know what Flick said to this, but I hope that he ripped a new one to these guys. Because that was a disgraceful first half. To be drawing against a team like this. And then second half comes in. And the funny thing is, Slavia Prague actually started better in the second half. We barely did anything. And the crazy thing is, yeah, they tried to play a low block. But it's not like we weren't actually seen a lot of space in their box. For some reason, we were playing like I have been seeing us play even against Frankfurt, where there was no urgency to actually get the ball into the box, make the right passes, make the right decisions shooting. I was sitting there like, wow, these guys are playing like we're leading already. We were absolutely trash. It was 2-2 all the way till Dani Olmo came on for Pedri, who ended up pulling a muscle. And good Lord Almighty, if we lose Ferran Torres, Yamal, and Pedri, yeah, looks like the first what happened in the first 3 months of the season is about to happen again. And if that happens, then it is what it is. But yeah, Olmo comes on, and yeah, he scored the third. And I gotta give it to him. That was a sick goal, right? Good touch on his right, curls it. Goalkeeper, absolutely zero chance. And that was a beautiful goal. And you know what, right? People were almost back after we lost against Sociedad, right? He wasn't amazing. I don't even think he was bad. I feel like people were being harsh on Olmo in the game, to be honest. I think people were being very, very harsh. But this is the thing. Olmo this year, since he's come back from injury, gotta give it to Olmo, man. The guy has been playing out of his skin. He really has. People always like to talk a lot of crap on him. I don't know why, man. Because, yeah, he wasn't great in the first half of the season, but people like to treat this guy like he's been a flop from the moment he arrived here. He's not. And he performed well today. He got the goal, coming off the bench, got the goal, gave us the lead. Finally, we're back in the lead. And then in the end, we ended up getting a fourth. Robert Lewandowski actually scored on the right net this time. This time he actually put it on the right net. I couldn't believe it. And you know what's funny? Somehow this guy nearly missed it, because the first touch, if the goalkeeper was quick enough, he would have actually been able to punch that before Lewandowski could shoot it. I'm going to be very honest, man. Like, I'm one of the people who's been advocating for Lewandowski to start. And I honestly do believe that he still needs to start, because I think Ferran Torres' best work is from the bench. I think his best work is from the bench. But I'm going to be very real, man. This guy is finito. He is finito beyond finished. So, yeah, we need a new striker in the summer. There's no doubt. Absolutely no doubt. But, yeah, we won the game 4-2 in the end. In the end, the scoreline, looks impressive. Right? You looking at that. Scored 4 goals. It was 4-2. Looks nice. But, yeah, the performance wasn't impressive. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to go into the final thing I'm going to say, which is, guys, this team, the moment we run into one of the good teams in the Champions League, we are getting destroyed. Barca fans, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the performance today has shown me what to expect. This team, when we see Arsenal or a Bayern in the Champions League, especially Bayern, who enjoy playing Barca. Bro, there's not a team in Europe that enjoy playing Barcelona than Bayern Munich. If we see Bayern Munich this year in the Champions League, oh, good Lord Almighty, make sure you guys have your Qurans, make sure you guys have your Bibles, make sure you guys have your, I don't know the book, but yeah, make sure you guys have your religious books with you and pray to God. Because I'm telling you, you're going to need God in this game, in that game. Don't watch the game. I probably will not even do a watch along for that, because it's not good for my mental health. But it is what it is. This team is not ready for the Champions League, especially this year. This year we are not ready. I see even a semi-decent team like a City, who I know lost yesterday against Bordeaux Glimt, or even like a Madrid. I don't care, but we just beat Real Madrid. Madrid in the Champions League, they're a different team. They're a different team. They proved it yesterday. So yeah, if we see them in Champions League this season, we're getting cooked. On God. PSG, we're getting cooked. Liverpool, we're getting cooked. I promise you. This team, they're not ready. They are not ready this year. And we're going to be much worse this year. But yeah. But one thing I will say, a final thing. Take a look at the table, ladies and gentlemen. This is the way we're going to end it. We were actually sitting 8th before the end of the game. We ended up falling into 9th, unfortunately. But as you can see, we are currently 9th. As you can see the way it's shaping up on the final day of the group stages in the Champions League. Barcelona on 13 points, and from 6th all the way to 13th, all of us have 13 points. But take a look at this. If you look at Inter, Dortmund, and all these other teams, ladies and gentlemen, they are only 2 or 1 point behind us. So Barcelona, we need to win. I think our next game is against Copenhagen. We have to win, and we have to win strong. And hopefully there's more drama, because there was a lot of drama yesterday and a little bit today. But there's big games coming out on the final day. I think Newcastle are playing PSG in the final game. So one of those teams loses, we could take advantage and go ahead in the automatic qualifications. And that's what we're hoping for, because if we reach playoffs, I am worried. But it is what it is. But listen, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the game in the comment section below. Y'all know what to do, you absolute beautiful people. Big up to all the people who were in the live stream earlier today. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, all the beautiful stuff. And yeah, man, Visca el Barça. Peace. Take care.